I can't believe I'm at Motorsport UK HQ. Hi, I'm Mahi, a future F1 driver, and today I'm speaking to Evelkah Powell from Race for Diversity. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Of course you can.
What inspired you to get involved with Race for Diversity, and what problem are you trying to solve?
Good question. I think the biggest thing what drew me to Race for Diversity is the ability to make the motorsport community more inclusive. As you can see, sometimes when you go to paddocks, you don't have people that look like you or represent a similar cultural background. And so this is something that really drew me to want to make a change. And I was really excited to get my hands stuck in to create initiatives, to create programs, activities that would invite people who probably never would have otherwise thought about motorsport. And so engaging with young people, working with them, co-creating this initiative, the Race for Diversity program, was really, really something that I wanted to delve in. And plus, Sir Lewis Hamilton's charity Mission 44 was behind it all, so I just couldn't say no. So one of the challenges we have is that motorsport is not as diverse as I've mentioned. Only 1% of people who work in Formula One are from Black heritage backgrounds. But that is something that we need to change to ensure that motorsport has a future and that, more people from underprivileged backgrounds have an opportunity to participate.
What's the biggest challenge young drivers from diverse backgrounds face in motorsports today?
I think the biggest one is not having as many role models. At the moment, a lot of people look up to Lewis Hamilton, which is great, but there isn't anyone else that we've seen. We now have Arvid, who's now taken his place as a Formula One driver as well. Yuki, who was also on the seat, but the grid is still not as diverse. And so one of the challenge would be not having as many role models that they can count on. Another thing is maybe the talent pathways. There aren't as many talent pathways available. However, at Motorsport UK, we now have the Motorsport UK Driver Academy, where we are looking at different disciplines to get young drivers involved, from rally to karting to circuit racing, to really engage with them in the sport and present and provide pathways for them to really excel.
You also have to be proactive and look for opportunities yourself too.
100%.
Have you seen real progress in diversity since starting the initiative, or is there still a long way to go?
I think that's a bit of a twofold response. Yes, there has been progress thus far, and I think for myself, working with the program and getting young people more involved in motorsport, not just becoming a driver, we've definitely seen that increase in knowledge and engagement in the sport through the young people that I work with, as well as schools. So that's definitely a progress that I've seen, and I'm very, very happy to report that. But in terms of the driving aspect, I still do think there's a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, there is things happen at a steady pace, but with anything, it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes funding, money, to really drive that inclusivity forward for people coming through. But interestingly, I was doing some research and speaking to some of our community, and 18% of our Race for Diversity community members now hold a Motorsport UK licence.
I also think it's really important to show kids what I do and make an impact.
100%, and I love the work that you're doing on your socials and in your driving career.
As a young girl in motorsports, what advice would you give me to stand out both on and off the track?
I think being in a male-dominated industry is hard, but one thing that I've seen and learned as just a young woman in the sport is just showing up and being bold. Like, you have something to give. You have something that the guys don't have. You have that spark, you have that drive, and I think presenting that and bringing your unique self to the grid is something that I think is super, super credible. In terms of equally on the track, don't give up. There are going to be times when you feel like, oh, I'm not in the top 20, I'm not in the top 10. but it's definitely something to not be fazed by. So just keep going, keep pushing, do as much as you can on track, do a lot of training when you're off track, so get as much seat time as possible. Those are the things that are going to help you stand out, and that's going to further hone the skill set that you have. Off track, another aspect from off track is exploring different things other than racing. Don't just rely on your racing, but also bring something to the table. So I love like what you do in terms of interviews like we're doing today, but also taking up other things that you could add value to the sport. That may be marketing, media, that may be presenting, it could be working on a car as an engineer, mechanic, take part in those different aspects as well.
I also think having the right mindset is important. You also have to love what you do. If you could change one thing in racing right now to make it more inclusive, what would it be?
I would say to create equal opportunities at the very start of any motorsport journey. So for someone as young as yourself coming in, being able to present to you the different pathways they are, and hopefully providing you with like a journey of what you can do. So after karting, these are the things that you can get into. But also, ensuring that we go out there a lot more. I think because motorsport is not as visible or accessible as some sports like football, we need to be more in the communities, really driving engagement, putting on different motorsport events, which we do, but I think there needs to be more public initiatives to drive that, but also go in areas where there are communities that don't get the opportunities as much. So I would say be more bold in going into those communities, reaching diverse audiences.
When we talk about inclusivity, Lewis Hamilton has changed a lot in motorsport, and he's opened doors for a lot of people.
He really has, and this is why the Race for Diversity program exists at this moment in time, because of his charity, who was able to fund but also support the work that we do, so we can go out there and reach more young people and show them that motorsport is possible.
What qualities do you think future top drivers need apart from speed?
I would say the ability, and this might be a little bit biased, but their ability to champion a cause that is important to them. So actually showing the more human side of themselves, because that's the side that people connect to, and that's the side people resonate with. So being able to get behind something that is really important to them, shows them their authenticity, and shows that they are active in the different communities that they wish to serve, I think is really important, just from being great on track.
One thing I like sharing from my journey are the highs and lows, and no race days are same or perfect.
100%. And being that authentic and showing that not all the time you're going to be on a podium or you're going to be in the top 10. Being real, I think, is what really helps people to connect to you. So I think that's really important that you do that already.
What's one message you give to young racers who feel like they don't belong in motorsport yet?
My one message would be like, you do belong. You do belong in the sport, and without you, the sport wouldn't, be where it needs to be, and we won't have a motorsport in the future. So my one biggest thing is you do belong. Don't feel like, you're in a place just because people don't look like you, or, maybe don't have the same cultural background. Don't let that be your barrier, but use it as your superpower.
Lastly, how can people follow and support Race for Diversity?
So they can check out our social media pages, so at Race for Diversity, both on LinkedIn and Instagram. You can contact us via racefordiversity@motorsportuk.org. And we also have a Discord channel, so if people want to get involved in the community, engage and support, volunteer, and basically be a part of what we do.
Thank you, Evelkah. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you, Mahi. It's been a pleasure as well, and really, really all the best in what you do, and we are following and championing your journey.